Thibodeau has been relieved of his duties as head coach of the New York Knicks. Sources tell me after 5 seasons as head coach of the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau is out. He led them to 4 playoff appearances in 5 years as head coach. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. They won back-to-back 50-plus win seasons for the first time since the 1990s. But I'm told the Knicks believe that they need a new voice, someone that can take them to the next step of the organization's future, which they hope is an NBA championship. This is a team that obviously has talent: Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. They feel like they need a new voice, and that's what the decision was made today.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at NetsKingdom1. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. So we're here to break down the reaction of the breaking news. Tom Thibodeau fired by the New York Knicks about a couple hours ago. So let me read what the New York Post just said here. It says, in a shocking move after the franchise advanced to the conference finals for the first time since 2000, the coach was fired Tuesday afternoon in a decision announced by the team president, Leon Rose. The reasons were multi-layered, but the overarching theme was the team's belief that Thibodeau couldn't lead the Knicks to the next level. The firing was also done without a concrete plan for a replacement, leaving the front office and ownership vulnerable to intense criticism if this backfires. So now we're gonna we have the Knicks picks, so this kind of involves us too, because since we have the Knicks future, we're kind of tied. We're tied to them being good or bad. And I wanted to ask you, Cy, for going into the playoffs, talk about what you think Thibs could have. Why do you think he got fired, or do you think he deserves most of the blame for, you think this is a more of a scapegoat move by Leon Rose, or do you think Thibs really had some coaching analysis issues and X's and O's issues?
Okay, does he have coaching issues? Sure, but every coach in the NBA does.
Yeah.
Every coach in the NBA has made some kind of coaching error, some kind of coaching mistake. Mark Daigneault.
Yeah.
He lost game 1 against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
That was his fault. He fouled too early. He fouled the Nuggets when Jokic was on the floor and made it a free throw game. Led to a scenario where Chet missed some free throws that he wouldn't have been taking had they not played the foul game too early, and lost to an Aaron Gordon game winner. So, these coaches make mistakes all the time. It just only when they lose do we hold them accountable for their worst tendencies.
Yeah.
And with Thibodeau, look, there are problems. Doesn't play his bench as much as he should. Not as much offensive creativity.
Yeah. Could have been better with the Cat and Brunson pick and roll. He should have did more with that offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing though with the pick and roll. There's value in that, but again, with Cat, he is not the best pick and roll big.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, so is that really his fault? Because it's similar to Dame and Giannis, where Doc Rivers didn't utilize that pick and roll as much, but Giannis was not a good pick and roll big, which is why they didn't use it as much as they should have. So is that really his fault, or is that the player's fault?
That's true. You got it. Like I said, it's a roster situation. I think you have to build around that of his flaws.
Yeah, and look, with Thibodeau, he is one of the best floor raising coaches in NBA history. This is a man who led the Knicks, who was able to build a team around the Knicks.
He built the culture. He set the table for the culture. He was there when they were, starting to build up to that playoff contending.
They were the 4th seed with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett as the number 1 and 2 options.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. That's really insane. And look, I know they lost in the playoffs that year, but they outperformed expectations almost every year. Actually, every year except I think the third Julius Randle year where they missed the playoffs. But it's they overperformed with Brunson. Even this year, they were not supposed to make the conference finals.
Yeah.
I think everyone in the NBA had them losing to the Boston Celtics in the second round, and they completely upset the Celtics, had multiple historic 20-point comebacks, and they made it to the conference finals and put up a decent fight against the Pacers, took them to 6. So to fire him, I mean, this is a scapegoat. This is just a scapegoat firing.
Yeah.
Leon Rose overpaid for Mikal Bridges. He made a mistake trading for Karl-Anthony Towns, and he can't make this roster better it's highly unlikely he makes it better. And it's like, what do you do if you can't make the roster good? You fire the head coach.
Yeah. Last, Bobby Marks posted us something. Last 5 seasons, the coach of the year: 2021 Tom Thibodeau, 2022 Monty Williams, 2023 Mike Brown, 2024 Mark Dagenon, and 2025 Kenny Atkinson. So, 2021 to 2023, those coaches all got fired. That's just so funny. Like, it's just. But with Thibs, like the thing I like, you pointed great points. The floor raising that Thibs does, it's just like the thing I like about Thibs is he's one of those old school gritty coaches that the defensive is where his strong suit is. His teams usually play hard on defense. There's one of just those gritty hustle teams, and I think that's where the Knicks kind of built up that with the
Let,
Dante DiVincenzo year, Josh Hart year. They built up that tough, gritty team that they're not going to give up. They're always going to be in the mix. They're gonna fight on the offensive boards. They're gonna play hard defense. That situation, hard work beats talent. That's where Thibs. That's like the definition of Thibs for me. Even though he has his issues with overplaying guys and his offensive creation issues, that's Thibs is just one of those gritty coaches. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
yeah, look, he's an amazing head coach. Like
Yeah.
before Thibs, like, dude, they made the playoffs 5 out of the last 6 years, 4 out of the last 5 years since he's gotten there.
Yeah.
Like, they've had their most successful era in decades.
Yeah.
Like they had their best season since like what 2000, 1999. Like they won over 50 games and made the conference finals. It's like dude, they were gonna fire him no matter what, unless they won the championship. They're gonna fire this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how you look at it's just insane to me. I don't know how you look at this season and say, oh yeah, we got to get rid of the head coach. Like it's not his fault. Cat and Brunson can't play defense.
Yeah, that's that's true. So the odds, I'm gonna post up the odds here. Johnny Bryant was what Bovada officials have as the next Knicks coach. They also have Borrego here, Mike Budenholzer. I've heard Mike Malone be the name that's circulating on the. So now, as this ties to the Nets, bro, how important is this coaching decision for the Knicks? Because
Extremely.
yeah, explain that to the viewers. Like, do you think this coaching hire is very, very crucial because we have the Knicks picks in from 2027 on? Explain that to the viewers real quick.
It,
Yeah.
it can make or break the Knicks because like look what happened to basically a lot of other teams, like to us.
Hmm.
Like we had a good coach in Kenny Atkinson,
Hmm.
and we fired him and got
Yeah.
Nash, and it took
Yeah.
multiple years. Like them hiring Nash basically screwed over the team
Yeah.
because he was so bad as a head coach that like guys like were asking out. Like one of the reasons why Harden asked out, and this went underreported, was he didn't like Steve Nash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when Durant requested his trade, one of his demands was fire Steve
Fire
Nash,
Steve Nash. Yep.
and they wouldn't do it for some reason because he's friends with the GM. And then when the Nets had their terrible start in 2023, they fired him and got Vaughn, and he was better than Nash, but he was just as bad of a coach when the stars were gone. And so if the Knicks mess this up, look, I think it would be very risky to hire someone like Johnny Bryant, who's never coached a day in his life, because he's not going to have the freedom that other new coaches are going to have. Because it's like you have to now, because this roster still isn't that good. Like you have to worry about Josh Hart shooting. You
Yeah.
have to worry about Cat's like pick and roll defense and his rim protection. You still got to hire Brunson on defense. Like these are problems that, like even if you hire a more experienced head coach, like if you hire Malone or Mike Brown or a Vogel, like these guys are
Yeah.
also going to struggle. So, and here's the thing though, all those guys I just mentioned don't have the same like floor raising that Tibbs does. So like this could be like pretty ugly next season. Like I could see them losing a few more games.
Mhm.
And look, the East, because Tatum tore his Achilles,
The East
and
is wide open right now. I think
yes,
they're still going to be a good, but it's just like you said, with coaching, the relationships is there. They have to build a chemistry. So it's like you don't know. I mean, Johnny Bryant has been assistant coach for a long time, but like you said, he has no head coaching experience. He has to develop that relationship chemistry. Will the guys fight for him in the trenches? That's what are they going to play as hard as they did for Tibbs with Johnny Bryant? That's the question I have, going forward.
And
If
hey,
Johnny Bryant's a coach, obviously, yeah.
the Knicks try like so hard, like they
Mhm,
always do. Like if you don't have somebody like lighting a fire under them, like Thibs did,
mhm,
like they won 51 games. Like I could see them losing a few more games this year if
mhm.
they don't have that same fire under them.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing with Thibs, like he got killed for not playing the bench, but it's like you really want him to play Tyler Kolek minutes? Who on the bench should he have played? Because in the playoffs he was
Oh,
doing that.
shit.
Like he was giving Precious Chua minutes, he was giving DeLon Wright minutes,
Yeah,
and they were actually winning games. They put up more of a fight because they did that. And you have to give Tibbs credit, but at the end of the day, Cat and Brunson don't really fit together, and that is like the crux of the problem. And until Leon Rose solves that problem, like no coach is going to be able to fix that.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. And here's the thing too. When you fire your head coach after making all of these trades and just completely changing up the core of your roster, like that's not a good sign of stability. Like firing your coach is never a positive sign. So going in from the Nets perspective, hey, those 2027 picks and onwards, like those could be really valuable.
yeah. Because in the off season, we're gonna be in a very, very tricky place here because these picks are gonna be gold probably in the 20, like everybody's talking about the 2029 Knicks picks because they might be falling apart by then. The Knicks, core, you might have to overpay McHale, they have to think about paying Mitch Robinson. They have a lot of questions they're gonna ask. So it's like, are they gonna make a
Dude,
big swing trade? You know.
the money is insane. Like Brunson took that pay cut and it
Mhm,
kind of saved him, but it didn't really because they have so many guys that are overpaid on this team and are
mhm.
about to be overpaid. Like as good as Cat is, like he's making $53 million. Like he's not worth that.
Yeah,
As good as OG is, he's not worth 40. As good as Hart is, he's not worth 20. And then you're about to pay Mikal Bridges at least 30 million a year.
yeah.
You might have to pay Mitchell Robinson 20 million a year. Like
I think he's crucial. I think Mitch, you have to keep Mitch. I think you have more than I think he's more important than McHale, in my opinion. But that's just probably Knicks fans probably don't want to hear that when they watch it.
Bridges is getting his extension. It would be
Yeah,
so bad from an optics perspective if you traded 5
5
first round
picks.
picks for this guy and
Yeah,
just didn't extend him.
yeah. Because in my
Like
opinion, I think you should. I think they should trade him for like 3 solid role players, in my opinion. But
they're not
they're
getting
not
that.
gonna. Yeah, they're not probably gonna get that value for him. Going back to this offseason where the Nets are rumored to make a big swing trade. The Giannis destination, or superstar could possibly come to this destination if the Nets don't, choose the rebuild route. They choose the star reaching route.
They're
Those
uh,
Knicks picks are. Do you think Sean Marks will move those Knicks picks if
yeah,
we go for a Giannis or like a
yeah.
Zion, one of those superstars?
Well, not Zion. It's Giannis. Like
Giannis.
it's been so heavily reported
Mhm,
that they want Giannis badly. I don't think they care about the consequences. Like I think they'll trade everything for Giannis and they'll deal with the consequences later. Uh,
mhm.
here's the thing though. Giannis isn't going to be on the Nets. We're so far away. We're so far away from a roster perspective. Other teams are also interested, and that alone is going to like save the Nets
Yeah,
because they're just other teams. Like heck,
yeah.
the Raptors could give them a better package. Like
Better trade
they're also
packages.
rumored.
Better
The
timelines. We're not on the right timeline. Their timeline is way, way like we're not on the same timeline as like the Rockets. We're not one of those budding young playoff teams on the edge like the Rockets or the Spurs or with the talent and the upside. Like we don't
those
have none
teams
of that.
would want him more and would have real assets to give up that the Bucks would want. And look, the I think if Giannis asked for us specifically,
Mhm.
and we were one of his top destinations, then maybe I think the Nets would just give him like a ton of picks. I think Giannis isn't even going to be interested in us. I don't know. I
Yeah.
know the rumors were saying it's a possibility,
Mhm.
but based off of what I've read, it's just the Nets want him badly, and it's not mutual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, which
Uh,
honestly, great. That'll save us. Like it
yeah,
means
that
we
would.
get to keep our picks, develop players, and keep these Knicks picks.
Yeah, because like I said, going forward, I guess in conclusion, like these Knicks picks could be gold if the Knicks, because we've been down the coaching rabbit hole. We're the best team example of going down the coaching rabbit hole. We went through what 2 to 3 coaches from Steve to Vaughn, Mike. We went through a whole bunch. Coach Kenny. we've been down the coaching rabbit hole, and it took us a minute to find Jordy Fernandez, and we found our guy. We found our guy, but it took 2 to 3 guys to go through and really, really bad playoff sweeps, really, really bad seasons, really, really bad losses to go through that coaching, finding your right coach for your team. And it's I think people underrate that. People underrate coaches, I think, in this today's NBA. Like, those guys are important as well as getting the
And
talent.
here's
Talent
the
is
thing,
important, but coaching is very important as
and
well.
here's the thing too that makes this look worse. They basically got this guy fired, the players.
Yeah.
Yeah, based off what I've seen, it's like they clearly just didn't like the guy, because if they did, they would have protected him.
Yeah.
I think Mikal Bridges is like the main culprit here.
Well,
I
there
don't know.
was a
I
couple.
think
It was Mikal. There was a videos of Josh Hart and him and Thibs screaming at each other. Mikal didn't really call them out, and then I think Brunson was more quiet on it, and then it wasn't really.
I
But
think
hey,
Cat has
and
an issue with him too.
oh yeah, Cat's issues with Thibs go stretch back way back from like the Wolves days.
Well,
They've
here's the thing.
always
It's never a good sign when you trade a bunch of draft picks for new players, and then those players get your coach fired, because that's what happened to us like a couple times,
yeah.
and it all went to hell. And then these players, they ask out when things get difficult. Like I could see Cat requesting a trade in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I could see Bridges asking out if he doesn't like. Because I don't know, Bridges is starting to be like a real diva.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not saying that with any like bias here, because
Yeah.
he's on his 4th head coach in 3 years, dude.
That's fair to say. And
He
like I said, he did call Tibbs out early on. He did.
he
And then
called Thibs out. He
yeah,
got Vaughn fired, and we
he
know
did
he
get
got
Vaughn.
Vaughn fired.
He got Vaughn fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So
Jacques Vaughn, yeah.
yeah,
Him and Jacques Vaughn did not really see eye to eye at all.
no.
Yeah.
And I'll say this in defense of Bridges. I don't think anyone on the team saw eye to eye with Jock Vaughn.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So
I,
yeah.
I don't know, just to lose your head coach. And look, with Bridges, it's like I don't think he likes being in a big market. I think he doesn't like big media criticism. I know he let the Nets fans that really like got into him. Like, I know that affected him. I know he's letting the Knicks stuff affect him, the Knicks fans, and all of that media pressure. I don't know. Bridges, to me, he's a very like shaky guy to have, which is really bad, because he's not good enough to really justify all this like wishy-washiness about him.
Yeah, you're not a star player to be a diva or to call. If Brunson did all this, we could understand that because he's the number one guy, but
Well,
not
they treat him
not
like a
Mikal.
star.
Yeah,
They
not
treat Bridges
Mikal.
like a star.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem with the Knicks.
And going back to the books thing, like, they have $195 million in salary for next year. It's like, dude, and then after that, look, they're gonna have to extend Bridges and Mitchell Robinson.
Mm,
Like, they might be in the second apron this year, and they might be in the second apron the following year. It just, their books are not looking good. Like,
yeah,
this whole thing is being carried by the fact that Brunson seems like a really loyal and selfless guy.
yeah. Because like they're in danger of them peaking. I think they peaked. Like they're at a point in the apron. If they pay Mikal and Mitch, they're going to be too in the apron to do anything to make any moves. And defensively, they're not good. They're not as good, and they're going to peak. I think they just peaked unless they make the big swing trade, and I don't know if they're going to do that. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Knicks fans, let us know how you feel about Tibbs getting fired. Nets fans, how you guys feel
Dude,
about Knicks getting
they should
fired?
have ran it back.
They should
Like,
have, yeah.
yeah, because
Should have did.
dude, the East is wide open. And
Yeah,
look,
they
this
should have.
Indiana series, like, let's not act like they got swept. Like, it was 6 games, and I believe and 2 of those games were really damn close.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
if
shocked. I was shocked they fired him because I was like, the East is wide open. I thought they were just gonna run it back, and because the Celtics are done, they're gonna. I think the East is wide open with
the
it. All you got to
Cavs
do
are
is
a
beat
good
the
team,
Pistons. Yeah, you just got to beat the Pistons, Pacers, Cavs, and the Cavs are frauds when it comes to playoffs. So it's really maybe the Pistons and the Pacers that you're really fighting for the East with. So yeah. Uh, let us know. Let us know in the comments how you guys feel about Tibbs getting fired. Those Knicks picks are they're staying a little juicy now. Let us know in the comments how you feel about those Knicks picks that we have going forward. And what do you think who do you think is the next head coach of the Knicks? Do you think they're going to choose a young guy like Johnny Bryan, or they're going to choose Mike Budenholzer or Frank Vogel, go old school? Let us know in the comments. Appreciate you guys so much. Hit that like button, subscribe.